Hello, welcome back. This is Insti, and I'm continuing playing Discworld Noir. On last episode, we got killed. But fortunately, we came back. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we are werewolf. And now we are trying to solve murders and swords and everything else. I think we have new places to go, but I'm interested to see, can I still go and talk to the Count? Because why not? Can I go? No. Oh. I want to see the Count.
Who would Sir like to see this time?
Okay, I can go to the library later if we need to. So let's see the Count.
Can I see the Count?
I am not in a position to know how good your vision is, but you may see the Count, which I believe is what Sir actually meant in Sir's untutored way.
Still here, I see.
In a sense.
Oh, can I... Because I wanted to ask about the murders. Where are they? Here they are. Counterweight.
Do you know anything about the counterweight killings?
Of course.
You were there?
Well, yes. I have to be. But this is very irregular.
Of course. You know about all these murders, don't you? I mean, you're basically an accessory after the fact. Or possibly before the fact.
Young man, I am the fact.
Well, tell me everything you know.
Are you sure? It would take millions of years.
I meant about this case. We could stop anyone else from being killed.
No. Absolutely not. You can't expect me to be a witness in a murder inquiry. I'm going to take the fifth.
The fifth what?
No one ever says what fifth. They just take it. And I'll have the 6th, 7th, and 15th through 23rd, just to be on the safe side.
So you won't tell me anything?
Oh, lots of things. I like to talk to a man who likes to talk.
But you won't tell me anything about the murders?
I will not. Supposing that caught on. You think I want to spend every day in a witness box?
Even though Death said he wouldn't tell me anything, I had a suspicion that I might be able to learn something if I could just strip him up. I'd have to be careful, though. The last thing I wanted was to get Death upset with me. He's not a guy you want as your enemy.
Okay, let's ask Patrician's clerk's murder.
Is there anything you'd like to tell me about the murder of the patrician's clerk?
Only that he was a lot less tiresome than you and didn't have such a colorful vocabulary.
Right. Wizard's murder?
Wizards can see you, right?
Indeed.
So they know when they're going to die.
That is also true.
So the reader of esoteric occultism must have known he was about to be murdered.
Knowing when you are going to die and knowing how are two different things.
Well, that is true. Merchant's murder.
I was just thinking that I could really use some information on the merchant's murder.
That's funny. I was just thinking about wallpaper. Was there a point you wanted to make?
Perhaps I could trap him into saying something when I knew a little more about how and where the merchant had been killed.
You know, that's very good, the way you make your voice go all tough and gritty like that. Do you have to go to elocution classes?
No.
Do you have a secret code ring or anything?
No.
Oh.
So, if I understood correctly, I have to go and learn more about the murders, and perhaps after that I can ask something Okay, what do we have? We have Merchants Guild. We have to go there. New Hall. What do we have anything else? Cemetery Temple. Unfortunately, we can't go to the archaeologist place anymore. I would love to talk to the dog. But apparently I can't find sewers anywhere. So am I understanding correctly? We can't go to sewers? I don't know if we need to even go to sewers. Anyways, let's start with the new hall. Then we go to the Merchant Guild. Then we go back to the Von Überwald.
Unseen University was positioned along a large stretch in the River Ankh, and its campus was convoluted enough that it was hard to tell where the university ended and the city began. It would be wrong to say that the people of the city respected the wizards of the university, and it would be wrong to say that they hated them. In fact, all you could really say was that both the citizens and the wizards were glad of the wall that stopped them from having to socialize on a daily basis. Mrs. Foames?
Yes, I am she. What do you want?
May I come in?
No, you may not.
I've come about the job.
Is that a fact? Very well, you may enter, but wipe your feet. I won't have the help messing up the carpets. Now, you've come for the job, Mr.
Lewton. And yes, I am interested in the job.
Well, as the head chambermaid, the decisions about hiring staff falls on my shoulders. Do you have any experience?
No, but I'm a fast learner.
Well, the pay is $2 a day. There are no perks. If you want it, it's yours.
Okay, let's...
Can you tell me about Unseen University?
It's not the business of help to discuss their employers.
Fine. Can I ask about the murders?
Do you know anything about the counterweight killings?
Murders are hardly a suitable topic for polite conversation.
Okay. Clocks.
Do you know anything about the murder of one of the patrician's clerks?
Murders are hardly a
Okay, wizards.
Is it dangerous working here? Only I heard that one of the wizards was murdered.
Don't let that bother you, Mr. Lewton. The affairs of the staff are not our concern.
You don't think I'm in any danger?
Goodness, no. The odd death is just the natural course of campus politics, I'm afraid. It's a shocking turn of affairs, but we mustn't question it. Dead men's pointy boots, and all that.
Wait, what now?
Now, do you want the job or not?
Dead men's pointy boots?
Yes. No questions asked as to the manner of their emptying, if you know what I mean.
I see.
Let's...
I'll take the job. When do I start?
You can start now by making the beds. The dorm is through that door. I advise you to leave before the students get back.
Why?
Boys will be boys, Mr. Lewton, and apprentice wizards are the worst kind of boys imaginable.
Okay, golden sword.
I didn't want to discuss the gold. This was clearly something that was worth keeping.
Okay,
The Jew.
fine. Can I ask you about anything? Well, I can ask almost anything, but I don't think she has anything to say. Well, to be honest, she could. Let's ask about sewers.
Do you know anything about the sewers beneath Ankh-Morpork?
I have better things to be doing than talking to you, you know.
Right. I guess that's a no then.
Do you know a troll by the name of Jasper Horst?
Not anyone I know.
Okay.
Do you know anything about some kind of beast stalking the streets?
I have better things.
Fine. Again, I'm probably that is something I can't even ask. Probably wasting my time, but to be honest...
What do you know about the murder of Mount Malachite?
Murders are hardly...
But I need
Do
to
you
ask.
know anything about Reagan's murder?
Murders...
Yeah.
Can you think of any reason that Mundy might have been hung upside down before he was killed?
Murders...
Right. Nothing about murders.
Do you know a woman named Ilsa or a man named Two Conkers?
Not anyone I know.
Fine. Al-Khali?
What do you know about a dwarf named Al-Khali?
Not anyone I know.
What do you know about a woman named Carlotta?
Not any...
Okay, okay. Yeah, I can see. So, nothing. Do I have...
What do you make of this perfume?
I have better things to be doing than talking to you, you know.
Right.
I had a feeling that...
Okay.
Do these bandages mean anything to you?
I have...
I had a feeling...
Okay, I think we are...
I guess I'd better get to work.
Very good.
Can I turn?
Mrs. Foames could probably see me from there.
Right, that is out. We can...
The lair of the redoubtable Mrs. Foames, the head chambermaid.
Can I enter?
Mrs. Foames?
Well, what do you want? I haven't got time to waste talking to you, you know.
I guess I'd better...
Indeed.
Let's go down and see what we can find. Can I turn in here?
The dorm was full of the jangling sense of the students. But the most surprising thing was the octarin board. As a wolf, I smelt the words on the board. The chalk marks showed up as sparkling traces against the odorless board. It seemed to be a list of subjects the young apprentices were studying. Occult perils of lace-making, basic myth and monsters, principles of thaumic imponderability, and temples of the Great Nev. Under the list of subjects were the words, "You must read a chapter on each before the next lecture."
Okay. Beds.
I guess it was my job to make the beds. Watch how fast I go. For a brief moment, I considered actually making the beds. Fortunately, good sense prevailed.
So we are not doing that.
The octarin board appeared blank to my eyes, but I had a feeling there was something written on it I couldn't see. A few sticks of chalk, a type of chalk made from octarin carbonate, were resting on the top of the board. I tried to write on the octarin board with the chalk, but I couldn't see what I was writing. The chalk marks were invisible to my eyes.
Yeah, I know, because you mentioned when you were...
I was pretty sure I'd learned all I was going to learn from using my wolf senses here.
Okay. So there's nothing I can do with that. We can go over the study locker. Right, okay. Let's start with that. You're a wizard, Harry.
The students had their very own unlockers to keep their possessions in. This locker seemed to wobble slightly.
Okay.
This unlocker seemed rugged, if slightly beaten up. Even as a human, I could smell something very disturbing coming from this particular unlocker.
Right, unlocker.
This sturdy-looking unlocker seemed in better condition than the others.
Let's start. Can I do anything with these?
Unlike the other unlockers, this one seemed to be levitating a few inches above the ground. Probably one of the students' cantrips that hadn't worn off yet. As for the unlocker's contents, the less said about them, the better.
Right.
I searched the unlocker, but found nothing I wanted to think too hard about.
And this, do I even want to know?
Given the smell of the unlocker, I was grateful it was locked. The only interesting thing I could find in the unlocker was some books.
Right.
I guess the rumors about the students weren't true. They did do some studying.
Can I...
What have we got? Occult primer, monster fun grimoire, Full-a-myth, the theory of thaumic imponderability, lost temples of the great Nev.
Do I...
There was nothing in any of the books about that. I guess the room they...
Come on. So, am I under... Come on, open. No.
I was...
Right. There are some boots. Let's go there. Can I turn?
Not in front of the porter. I'd definitely get thrown out.
Fine. Oh, there's somebody somewhere. What is this area and what can I do? I can go over there. I guess there's nothing else. Okay. Porter.
The burly porter had inflexible written all over him in large ironclad letters.
What are you doing here?
The name's Lewton. I'm working for Mrs. Foames.
You're the new bed maker, eh? Well, you can't come any further than this, Lewton. Wizards only in the library, you.
Wizards only?
Well, wizards, apprentices, and orangutans.
Are you a porter?
No, I'm a bledlow. And there's a difference, all right?
So I need to properly get past him.
What's a bledlow?
We look after the students,
Look after them.
just like the watch looks after the city.
You throw your weight around and beat them senseless when they do something wrong?
That's about the size of it, yeah. You don't mess with the lobsters.
Lobsters?
Just a nickname we've picked up over the years.
Why?
If you see us get our hands on a student, you'll understand.
You make it sound like you're hunting them down.
Of course, all students are guilty of everything.
Okay.
Where are all the students?
They're off playing Unseen University Challenge against the students from the Assassin's Guild.
What does that involve?
I don't know. Given the way most sports are conducted round here, it probably involves a very careful inspection of half the pubs in Ankh-Morpork.
What makes you say that?
Heard of the city and guilds?
No.
When the guilds started setting up their own colleges, there was a lot of rivalry between the various students.
Rivalry?
Well, the university students used to be ambushed by gangs from the guilds, really.
Used to be.
Well, given the faculty's relaxed attitude to sudden death, most of the staff prefer dead students on account of them being easier to teach. But I gather the guilds decided that enough was enough because all the bodies around the place made it very hard to open doors.
So what did they do?
They founded the City and Guilds Match. See, the idea was to carry a football right from the outskirts of the Shades to the Tower of Art, goals being scored by kicking the ball through the door of certain landmarks.
What sort of landmarks?
The sort with names like the Mended Drum and the Bunch of Grapes. The scoring team was bought drinks by the other teams, you see. And after a few years, the Arch-Chancellor ruled that only one goal could be scored in each pub since the match had, for 3 years running, it had gone on for a month. Yeah.
What's this got to do with Unseen University Challenge?
Well, the university tends to leave the City and Guilds Match to the guilds. They prefer a more cerebral challenge.
Such as going straight to the pub, not passing go, and not bothering to come back.
That'd be my guess, yes.
So they're not coming back?
Well, they'll be back. They need to come to the library to get their course books.
Okay, I'm guessing we can't really do anything else except ask about the murder. I just realized I could go after this to the palace. There's the right side area. I probably could use the wolf form there and get those few traces off. Let's ask about counterweight, but then ask wizards.
Do you know anything about the counterweight killings?
It's not me place to discuss murders, Lewton.
Okay, wizard.
I hear the reader of esoteric occultism was murdered.
Yep. Old Mathan was so full of poison, even the worms wouldn't touch him.
He was poisoned?
That's right. Right here in the Widdershins wing of the university.
You don't sound concerned.
I just keep an eye on the students. The wizards can do what they like to each other.
Interesting. Well, at least we learned something. Oh. Can I not... Wait. There it is, can I ask?
Who do you think killed Mathan?
Well, that shouldn't be hard to work out, eh? Just see who fills his shoes.
You think it was an internal matter?
I don't see why not. No one else has got a reason to be killing wizards, have they,
Okay. Basically, we need something more. And I'm guessing we need to use these books. But I don't know what. Yeah, I was thinking... Can I ask these guards about the killing of the...
I'm back. I've got a few more questions.
Make it fast.
Oh, I can ask about Malaclips. I have to ask about that, but... this.
I hear one of the clerks got murdered.
Ask questions like that and we might have to arrest you.
On what grounds?
Well, on the palace grounds, obviously.
So I can't ask about that. But. Why can I ask about Malaclips?
This priest you mentioned. His name wouldn't be Malaclips, would it?
That's the one. Do you know him?
We've met. What do you make of him?
I reckon he's the only one in the city who knows what's really going on.
Which is funny, because I think he's a deranged lunatic whose only pleasure in life is getting gullible fools to listen to him.
So, I'm a gullible fool, am I? Who bought those magic beans off that gypsy the other month?
Hey, you should have tried the casserole we made with them. It was magic.
Right. Well, we can't continue with this, so what I was thinking, first things first, I probably can change as a werewolf in here and get few of the scents. I could go see Leonardo and Two Conquerors and see if they want to talk to me anything about the coin or something. I don't know, because I need something. No. Lewton, I want to click you. Aha.
The empty barrels were surrounded by a cloying red mist, and it had the shrill pitch of red wine, if I wasn't mistaken.
Yes.
One of the empty barrels had a faint magenta trace to it. The scent was too weak for me to really remember it.
So. That's fuchsia. Maroon, dark cyan, wine barrels. What am I? Nobby, troll, Mundy. Oh, a little bit magenta. Can I connect it?
definitely the same scent as my killer, which meant whoever it was made it into the palace concealed in a wine barrel. Why did that bring to mind the phrase, "You wait, time passes," and Thorin sits down and starts singing about gold?
Okay, so basically the killer was inside the wine barrel. Fine. Now we know that. Oh, by the way, was there anything else? I'll have to check.
The garbage was giving off a distinctive green cloud, not dissimilar to the smell of the river Ankh.
Okay, I can take that. Oh, no, not in the notebook. Trash. Fine. I don't know why, but let's collect that. Anything else? We have red traces. Did we all... I think the red is already... Yeah, wine barrel's fine. So I think it's time to go up. No. Lewton. Thank you. And use that.
It always looked much easier in the clickies.
Yes. Can I actually skip this? No. Come on, faster. Thank you. Something has changed. Come on.
Just a few more questions, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, so...
I
Again,
still haven't worked out what this is for.
Aha, that's a nice.
To be a coin from Sota, that much is clearing. Had one at dig in Sota, just like that.
Are you sure it's a coin?
Sureness hard to be.
You got that right.
what am I missing?
Do these bandages mean anything to you?
What? Sorry, I was a little distracted.
Okay. I don't know what to do now. I really don't know. There's nothing I can get out of these guys. There's the merchant place I know. Well, we could go and check that. But the sewers, I thought we'd get sewers in the map. Sorry. Wait a minute. Ah, bloody sneeze. Would Nobby know about sewers? Because I do remember that we need
Just
to...
thought we could have a little chat. Oh, all right then. Make it quick.
I do remember we need to go to the sewers.
Did you know there are sewers under Ankh-Morpork?
Yeah, I heard that. But they're underwater, except during a drought. Why do you ask?
Never mind.
To be honest, I'm starting to be a little desperate. Maybe. I want to go to the merchants guild, but I'm a little worried about those sewers. I could do something stupid and try to use the library. Maybe there is some notion about...
Who would say like...
Oh, do shut up. Can
I'd like to...
Very well. I will show, sir, the way, since it seems the labyrinthine corridors of this vast edifice are beyond sir's meager navigational skills.
Oh, sort of. Let's see what I can use in here. We have used the swords. What about this? Oh, we actually found something.
I looked up Unseen University policy in the library and found the university prospectus. Not only were the iconographs in it at least 30 years out of date, but the prospectus made Ankh-Morpork sound like the cultural center of the disc, and not the rancorous cesspool that it was. It did mention, however, that progression through the 8 levels of wizardry is determined in part by the acquisition of degree qualifications, and particularly towards the top of the tree, where the number of places became few and far between, by a policy of dead man's pointy boots. No questions being asked about the manner of them emptying. This information, although thorough, seemed of absolutely no use to me.
Right. Okay. What else we can? Let's open this. Okay, sewers. Can I? Well, let's go through every thing because this. Come on, is it working? Okay, we found something.
I checked through the library and found some ancient plans of the city of Ankh. There was an intricate sewer system beneath the city. It must be thousands of years old. It would be in quite a state if it was still around, and as far as I could tell, it would be under the waterline if there wasn't a drought on. Given the rains that we'd had recently, I could only find one section of sewer that might be above water. There was a shallow sewer running from the Magdalen Bridge around the rimward side of the Royal Winter Palace of the Kings of Ankh, now the home of the patrician. I guess the designers weren't allowed to put sewers under the palace grounds, which might have been why the Royal Summer Palace of the Kings of Ankh was a long way from Ankh-Morpork. That and the stench of the river Ankh, anyway.
Okay. Right. Okay. What else we need to check from the? No.
A far.
Yes. And
Perhaps.
nope. Lewton. What else we could check from here? I don't know if this works.
I didn't really know how to look.
Okay. Because obviously we need to get the sewers off because of the moss. But okay, let's go to the sewers maybe. Or okay, where are the sewers now? Ah.
The ancient civic plans from the library led me straight to the sewer's entrance, not far from the Magdalen Bridge. A relatively small tunnel was concealed beneath a pile of debris that must have accumulated over the centuries. It looked as if most of the tunnels here were actually still above the water line, or the sludge line, to be more honest about it.
Fine. First things first, change that's nice.
The smell of the Ankh was unbearably strong in the sewer, and it was all I could do to remain conscious.
So I guess I will not find any other smells around here.
I wasn't even sure it really was water.
So we can go here, not here. That's probably outside. So what's here? Don't tell me this is some kind of a... What? Right. Okay. Where am I supposed to go? Niche?
There were far too many niches for me to search by hand. It would take forever.
Okay. So we are here. That goes over there. What am I oh, can I use my wearable form here? Oh, okay.
The trail that I had seen in the cemetery seemed to continue down in the sewers, starting at one of the pipes and disappearing into the passageways. It was almost drowned out by the smell of the Ankh, though.
Can I follow
the
it?
trail that it was all
Can I follow it?
The trail that I had seen in the cemetery seemed to continue down in the sewers, starting at one of the pipes and disappearing into the passageways. It was almost drowned out by the smell of the Ankh, though.
Okay, finally we made a progress. Niche. Sewer water.
There were far too many niches it would take.
Okay, lair. Lair of what?
The lair was concealed in one of the sewer's many niches.
Come on. First things first. Smell.
The magenta scent permeated the niche, stronger even than the smell of the Ankh. There weren't many times in life you got to say that.
Okay, do I need to connect this? No. Here we are.
It was definitely the scent from the cemetery. I still didn't know what the coruscating static meant, though.
Right. I don't see anything else, so there has to be something around. Oh, debris.
There was all manner of debris piled up inside the niche. It looked like some kind of nest. I was strongly reminded of what I'd found in the Milka's cargo hold, only this nest seemed bigger somehow.
Oh, right, yeah, there was the little nest in the Milka's, which I thought it would be important at the time that we would do something with it, but we didn't. Come on, what?
Amongst the garbage was some kind of pendant.
Okay, where? Where was... Oh, there.
The metal of the pendant glinted amongst the debris.
Right.
As I stood in the alcove examining the pendant, I felt as if I wasn't alone. It was the same presence I'd felt in the Milka's hold. I could feel the cold touch of death upon me. It was a strangely light touch. Size obviously isn't important, I agree. You are Death, right? Rats have their own death? No offense, I mean, you're very, very intimidating. For a skeletal rat, at least.
Death.
So what's your connection to the big guy? You're sort of like relatives, then. You probably get together for birthdays and Hogwatch night. I'd like to see that.
Milka?
If you don't mind me asking, were you on the Milka before? I thought so. What were you doing on the Milka? Uh-huh. No, please, go on. Did you see anything? Well, I don't know, anything unusual. Anything else? Yeah, I saw that. And that's here. This is its lair. It can't be very big. That's not very comforting. But I guess that's not your job. Comfort, I mean. I wasn't suggesting you weren't good at your job. I've never looked at it that way before. I couldn't believe it. I was talking to a phantasmal rodent. I hoped he couldn't read my thoughts. He seems easily offended.
Okay, this is getting weird. Death of rats.
So, what's it like being the death of rats? You don't get to talk much, do you?
Huh. The Grim Squeaker. Okay. Anything else?
So, do you come here often? I'm sorry, it's not easy to think of things to say to something like you. Well, it's not often I find myself in the sewers talking to a... What are you exactly? Exactly.
The Grim Squeaker. Well, to be honest, I don't think we can ask anything about anything.
I'd found the pendant in the sewers. How it got there was anyone's guess.
Well, I could ask about
I found
that.
this in the nest. Do you know anything about it? It was on the Milka, so this thing brought it here for some reason. I could really use some help, you know. Oh, forget I asked.
Okay. I don't think there's anything else here. That's cute.
Whatever it was 6 inches high, robed in black, and wielding a small scythe in one skeletal paw. I really needed to lay off the booze.
Okay. I think we can leave now. That pendant, if it was on the Milka, I could go on and ask about... Show it to the two Conkers. Because he knows about archaeology. And that might be connected on that part, hopefully. If this doesn't work, then I go to the library. Either way, I need to know more.
It always looked much easier in the clickies.
Yeah, I can't skip this, I guess. This is definitely interesting because you didn't have this climbing animation when you were going to the Skylab, but you have it now. Let's go. Two Conkers.
Just a few more questions if...
Okay. Let's hope for the best. I
Do
need
either
some...
of you recognize this?
Is of much familiarness.
From where?
Near sort being somewhere near. Ha! Yesness. Seal on temple in Al-Khali.
It's the seal on the doors of a temple?
May I see?
Sure. Why not?
Ah, yes, I recognize that. That's from the temple with the intricate door locking mechanism, isn't it? Quite a marvel of technology for the era it was built, those doors. I was very impressed with them. Now, what was the name of the god it was dedicated to? I can't quite remember.
I know.
I am sure you do, but give me a moment and it'll come to me.
I think he meant it's from the temple of Anu Anu.
Ah, yes, I remember. The temple of Anu Anu at Al-Khali. A lovely building.
And this is a replica of the seal.
Of much sureness. Replica of most exactitude.
That might be helpful to know. Thanks.
Okay. First things first, we go back to the library. Ask about that... check the Temple of Anu Anu. And maybe the pendant. Then we could go Temple of Small Gods, ask about Anu Anu. Was there something in the new hall about Anu Anu?
Who would say
Let's go to the
I'd
library.
like to use the library again.
Very well. I will show Sir the way, since it seems the labyrinth...
Okay, thank you. I think there might be in the... something in the Unseen University. But first things first. This seems a good place to check everything first. Okay. What?
There were books on jewelry, but I couldn't find the pendant in any of them. I did get the idea that the design of the pendant might match something else, though.
Okay. Can I check about the Temple of Anu Anu? There you are. Yeah. What can we find?
There was a book in the library called Frescoes and Fatal Traps of the Temple of Al-Khali. But when I turned to the page on the door mechanism, it had been torn out by someone. I was going to have to find another copy of the book. There were only 2 other libraries in Ankh-Morpork that I knew about, and one of those was in the Assassin's Guild.
I hope we don't have to go to the Assassin's Guild. Okay. Temple of Small God. I could talk to you, Malaclips.
I need your help again, Malaclips.
They'll all need my help sooner or later. They just don't know it yet.
You are correct. Can I show you
Do
the
you
pen?
recognize this pendant?
It is an ambiguous Puzuma talisman.
What does it do?
It keeps away ambiguous Puzumas.
Does it work?
I don't see any Puzumas around here, do you?
I walked right into that, didn't I?
Okay, so nothing at all. One back. Let's ask about Temple of Anu Anu.
Have you heard of the Temple of Anu Anu at Al-Khali?
So, interested in comparative religion, are we, Lewton? Or perhaps you're an archaeologist?
Given their propensity to smash open sacred monuments, loot them of everything of value, and generally desecrate sacred places everywhere, archaeologists are about as popular with priests as atheists. Mind you, in a world where gods are bad-tempered and damn good shots with a lightning bolt, nobody likes an atheist either.
Okay, so nothing at all. But how about the cultist of Anu Anu? Mooncalf.
I have some more questions.
Ask them, if you must.
Let's start with this.
Does this pendant mean anything to you?
It is interesting, isn't it? I don't suppose you could be persuaded to donate it to the cult of Anu Anu.
I doubt it.
A shame. That would probably be worth 20% of your recommended daily intake of salvation.
Okay. Tell me about Temple of Anu Anu.
I understand there's a temple of Anu Anu at Al-Khali.
Indeed, one of the finest temples on the disc.
Then why are you here? Why not worship in your own temple in Al-Khali?
Revengealism.
What's that?
It's where you go out into the community to attempt to convert people to your faith by threatening that something terrible will happen to them if they don't.
Mooncalf wasn't telling me something, but I didn't know what. Logical, I suppose, but unsatisfying.
So we need something to make him talk. Was there something about Anu Anu in the new hall? Because these books are interesting. They're the only highlight in here.
I guess the rumors about the students, they did do...
Okay, what are the books?
What have we got? Occult Primer, Monster Fun Grimoire, Fulamyth, The Theory of Thaumic Imponderability, Lost Temples of the Great Nev.
I don't know. Is Temple of Anu Anu Nef?
There was a book on the temples of Great Nev, but not of Al-Khali. A shame, really. That could be really useful.
I don't know. Let's do this.
I altered one of the subjects on the board, switching the Great Nev for Al-Khali. Now all I had to do was see if anyone took the bait.
That was lucky. I tried to put... I actually tried to put this away.
The octarine board appeared blank to my eyes, but I had a few sticks of chalk.
Yeah, I was going to put this away. Okay, what do I do now? Basically, should I wait? Go somewhere? Well, I could go to the merchant guild now.
The Merchants Guild was the youngest of the Ankh-Morpork guilds, founded in self-defense by the city's traders and shopkeepers when they realized their role in the grand scheme of things was to be robbed. Robbing fat merchants, it seemed, was a perfectly socially acceptable, even heroic thing to do. Consequently, they weren't the friendliest of guilds either. I wasn't holding out much hope that they'd help me. Evening.
Usually is when the sun sets.
Is everyone in this city a smart aleck?
Who's he?
He used to be a regular at the Mended Drum. He made a reputation as a know-it-all.
Used to be?
The Mended Drum is a bad place to use the phrase no.
Where did they find his body?
The Shades. And the Diesel Gate. His kidney down a well in Dolly's sister's, I think. Bits of his innards all over the place. Sounds like he had a lot of guts.
Okay. Yeah, we need to ask about the murders. Well, we could ask Dead Man's Pointy Boots.
I hear up at the Unseen University they talk about dead men's pointy boots.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Really?
Yes, they ask no questions about how a wizard's shoes were emptied.
Operate the same policy here, do you?
What? Hey, what are you implying?
Well, you know, here you are, stuck on the door. Then a merchant gets killed, leaving a vacancy in the hierarchy.
I did not kill Gaming.
But there aren't any witnesses to that, are there?
There aren't any witnesses at all. He was alone in the guild house when... Oops.
Thanks for the information.
Wait. Don't tell anyone I said anything. They'll lynch me.
I'll keep quiet if you tell me everything you know.
No, I've already said too much.
Well, it was good while it lasted. Now all I had to find out was how Gaiman had been killed. And I had a feeling I wasn't going to learn that here.
Oh. Do you...
The jewel wasn't the kind...
Okay.
I didn't want to... This was clear...
Yeah. What else?
Can you tell me anything about Matham's murder?
I can't help you there.
Merchants?
About this merchant that was killed.
Sorry, I am not allowed to discuss the incident with outsiders. A guild policy.
It wouldn't hurt to tell me the broad details, would it?
It would hurt a lot. They'd throw me off the roof.
No one's going to know.
I'd know about hitting the ground.
Is it really that important to you?
The Merchants Guild takes its policies very seriously.
So it seemed. I had to find a way to exploit that.
Okay.
Do you know anything about the murder of one of the patrician's clerks?
I can't help you there.
Have you heard about the counterweight killings?
Who hasn't? It's the talk of the town. A gruesome serial killer in our own backyard.
Ankh-Morpork, where major political events are never talked about, but grisly murders are discussed over the dinner table.
Hey, if it isn't local news, I'm not interested.
Oh, of course. 10,000 killed in a pogrom in Omnia is irrelevant. But Ankh-Morpork man stubs toe on the Magdalen Bridge. Oh, that's news.
Someone stubbed their toe on the Magdalen Bridge?
Never mind.
Right. What else we can ask? Bestial attacker.
There's talk of a bestial attacker loose in Ankh-Morpork.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering if it might have killed that merchant.
Wonder away. But I'm not discussing the incident with you.
Damn.
Jesper Horst.
Do you know a troll by the name of Jesper Horst?
Well, no one I know.
Okay, and I still don't know what I'm doing. Maybe we have enough so we can we can try to fool the death.
What do you know about the murder of Mount Malachite?
I can't help you there.
Do you know anything about Reagan's murder?
I can't help you there.
Can you think of any reason that Mundy might have been hung upside down before he was killed?
I can't help you there.
Do I have anything in inventory? Let's...
Does this mean anything to you?
I don't know anything about that.
Do these bandages mean anything to you?
I don't know anything about that.
I had a feeling that the
Oh, okay. I don't know why we're using this.
I had a
Okay,
So how did you end up working on the door?
Ooh, there's only so many good positions to go around.
I take it this isn't one of them.
Oh, it's not that bad. I get to hear all the interesting news with this job.
And has anything interesting happened recently?
Oh, yes.
Such as?
We got a new kettle. Much nicer than the one with the leak that we used to use.
You boiled water in a kettle with a hole?
Well, we made a lot of steam anyway. It wouldn't stay in the cups, though.
And that's the most exciting thing that's happened here.
Oh, exciting. If you want exciting, you should see the new colour scheme in the coin-shaving room.
Come on. Someone was murdered. Wasn't that exciting?
Oh, sure.
Why didn't you mention that?
A guild policy. We're not to discuss the incident with outsiders.
What's that coin shaving?
What's all this about coin shaving?
You haven't heard of coin shaving?
No, I didn't even know they grew hair.
Well, you take a coin and you carefully shave off some of the gold, which you can then melt down and sell. Easy money.
I think I see a problem with that.
Yeah?
Well, I didn't think there was any gold in Ankh-Morpork dollars.
Well, there isn't. Not anymore. We kind of shaved them too much.
So what do you use the coin shaving room for?
We keep the kettle there. It sets off the new decor superbly.
That's why you redecorated it?
No, we used to keep the old kettle there, only all the wallpaper fell down.
About that guild policy.
I don't understand. Why is it guild policy not to discuss the murder?
Well, as you probably know, we formed the guild to stop the dreadful habit of visiting heroes robbing all the fat merchants.
Yeah, I heard that.
Ah, yonder lies a fat merchant, they'd cry, using that special landlord a flagon of your finest ale hero talk. Let us relieve him of some of his ill-gotten gains, pon my scalliard. Next thing you know, they've robbed you blind. That's the thanks you get for years of service.
Years of service carefully mixing sand in the sugar and switching the number plates of the donkey carts.
Hey, that's a very stilted view. What about all the other top-quality bargains we offer?
Ah, yes. All those once-in-a-lifetime, never-to-be-repeated, absolutely didn't fall off the back of a cart offers.
Exactly. Plus, we keep the economy of the city running.
By giving small sums to the less smelly beggars?
Annually, yes.
You were telling me about guild policy.
Ah, yes. Anyway, it was decided that it would be the Merchants Guild's policy to fully further the aims of its members, advertise the civic charms of Ankh-Morpork, and beat 7 kinds of hell out of anyone with a leather loincloth.
Advertise the civic charms of Ankh-Morpork?
Are you saying you don't like Ankh-Morpork?
Oh, no. Absolutely not. I heard what you guys did to Castroaster.
Damn straight. He got tired real quick.
This doesn't explain why you can't discuss the murder with me.
Well, the Merchants Guild is supposed to be the shining beacon that shows the rest of the world how unsurpassably wonderful Ankh-Morpork is.
By robbing them blind?
Oi, watch it.
Sorry. Continue.
Anyway, the point is, it's bad publicity if we're seen to have a murder in our ranks.
Couldn't you sell it as a tourist attraction?
What?
You know, come to Ankh-Morpork, site of the infamous counterweight killings.
Show some respect. A merchant lies dead, struck down in his prime.
So do half a dozen other people.
True, but they weren't merchants.
Civic charms.
So how exactly do you go about advertising the civic charms of Ankh-Morpork?
We pursue those misguided people who publicly fail to recognize the many attractive points of this fine city.
Pursue?
Yes, we hire large gangs of men with ears like fists and fists like walnuts to point out that Ankh-Morpork is in fact a marvellously clean and decent city in which to live. A process whose ongoing nature might be swiftly curtailed if they don't shut up right now.
I suspect they see sense.
Oh yes, even if their eyes are a bit swollen.
Okay, I think we need to go to see the death.
Who would Sarah like to see this time?
I could have gone also to see if they made any changes to the chalkboard, but Count.
Can I see the Count?
Oh, no. We
Still
all...
here, I see.
In a sense.
So, what can we do with the murders? Let's go with the merchants.
According to the gatekeeper at the Merchants Guild, nobody witnessed Gaiman's stabbing.
Gaiman wasn't stabbed.
Really? How did he die?
He was strangled.
Ha! Thanks.
Blast. I didn't see that one coming.
Sneaky. Poisoned?
Can you tell me anything about Matham's murder?
I already told you that I cannot discuss the details of my work with you.
Thanks for filling in the missing pieces about Gaiman's murder.
I'd deem it a favor if you forgot that I told you.
Okay, but what do I do with that knowledge?
Is there anything you'd like to tell me about the murder of the patrician's clerk?
Only that he was a lot less tiresome than you and didn't have such a colorful vocabulary.
Right, I don't really know. What else could I ask?
Does Dead Men's pointy boots mean anything to you?
They use it at the Unseen University, do they not?
So I understand.
It is accurate. The wizards do have pointy boots. It's traditional.
I think it has some other meaning.
That would explain why I have heard it mentioned in the guilds. Their boots are seldom pointy.
Okay, let's go back to the university and see if there's happening something. Because I still... Oh, no, wrong place. Take it back. Hopefully... book on temples. Something have changed.
A copy of Frescoes and Fatal Traps of the Temples of Al-Khali miraculously appeared after I changed the octarine board. I guess the students took their studies more seriously than I thought, but fortunately they still didn't have much idea what it was they were studying most of the time.
So now we can use the amulet and get the missing pages. We are making progress.
The pendant's design matched the one in the book for the seal of the temple of Anu at Al-Khali. The temple was famed for its intricate door mechanism, and the book described how to manipulate the seal to open the temple doors. I used the same method on the pendant, and it opened with a faint click. Inside was a small piece of paper with names on it. One name leapt out at me. Therma. I decided to keep the list to myself.
Can I see the list?
I'd found a list of 8 names in the pendant. The name that stood out was Therma's.
Anything in Cafe Ankh? Is Carlotta still there? No. Could I use the list on the moon calf? Because it's the temple of Anu stuff. I'll make a save and test. Because the moon calf is hiding something and we need to find out what. So maybe I could use the list. I don't know how.
I have some more questions.
Ask them, if you must.
So I don't know how, but let's see what happens. Can I use it?
I wasn't about to reveal that I had the list to Mooncalf. I had a feeling that would be suicide. But perhaps I could use it to trap him. Someone told me that you know Therma.
Indeed. And who might that have been?
It's not important. Is she part of your cult?
No. No, she's not.
But you know her.
No, I've never met her.
I see. What about Satrap?
Are you intending to bore me with a list of people's names? I haven't time for this tomfoolery. I must preach the gospel of Anu.
Thy kingdom Coom and all that.
Yes, indeed.
I'd clearly unsettled him mentioning Coom. Now I just needed to sit back and watch what he got up to.
Okay, I was a little disappointed first that nothing's gonna happen, but then something happened. What do I do now? Do I leave and go back behind the area? Probably. That would make sense. I can at least try if I can go there. Are there 2 shadows now?
There were 2 silhouettes at the window. One was definitely Mooncalf. The other looked like a troll. I could just about make out that Mooncalf was saying something, but I couldn't make out what.
Can I change as a werewolf?
With my sharpened wolf senses, I could hear what Mooncalf was saying to the troll.
And I think we may have to do something about it. We will have a meeting of the true believers after this evening's sermon.
Sure thing, boss. You want I should go now?
No. You keep an eye on Lewton if you can. I'll go back to the sanctuary and leave a message for the others.
You got it, boss.
Oh, sorry, my mic has been turned off. Sorry about that. Wrong button. Yeah, fortunately we managed to hear what he was saying. He's gone now. Maybe Malaclips knows something.
I need your help again, Malaclips.
They'll all
What's happening
need
outside?
my help sooner or later. They just don't know it yet.
Do I Ah, okay. True meeting of true believers.
I overheard Mooncalf talking about a meeting of the true believers. I'd really like to know what that was about.
It's tough to find out what the cult of Anu is up to.
Is there any way I could listen in to one of Mooncalf's sermons?
The sermons don't take place here. They hold them in the inner sanctum.
The inner sanctum?
It's the center of worship here in the Temple of Small Gods.
How come? I mean, there are a vast number of gods and goddesses that the temple has to provide for. Are you telling me they all have to share one room for the services?
Absolutely. High priests are always complaining that so-and-so was hogging the sanctum all morning, or that such and such left hair at the bottom of the holy font. It causes a lot of tension around the temple.
Can you get me in there? I'd like to have a look around.
I could arrange to have the sanctum for a while if I told them I had a follower, but I don't.
Right. True believer meeting. What do I need?
I overheard Mooncalf talk. Is there any way I could listen in to one of Mooncalf's sermons?
The sermons don't.
The inner sanctum?
It's the.
How come? I mean, there are a vast number of gods and gods.
Absolutely. High priests are always complaining that
Okay.
Can you get?
I could arrange to have the sanctum for a while if I told them I had a follower, but I don't.
Okay.
I read out.
Ah, yes.
Oh.
Anu worshippers are these. The first ones. They're up to something secret, too. Out of Malaclipse's ears, soft in the darkness, they scheme.
I'm investigating them. Want to know what I find out?
As long as it doesn't cost me anything. I don't make rash bargains, Lewton.
So
I read out the list of names to Malaclips, and that sounds familiar.
okay.
They're out.
I'm in. Want to?
As long I don't.
What am I supposed to do
Which
now?
deity do you?
Ah.
I serve.
You didn't finish.
Can I?
Yeah, I know.
We talked about
get
this. We talked about this. Ask about errata.
Tell me about the.
There is no. Have you not looked? Well, it didn't happen. Nothing ever.
So, every misunderstanding that has ever happened, errata was behind them all.
Yes.
Oh,
she
we.
has started.
Yeah, we know
Oh,
this.
yeah.
We know this already.
Then why doesn't she just make everyone into?
Let me tell you something. Everyone, they just don't know.
How come you know that you're a follower?
I only think I might be a follower.
Errata thinks of every.
Church of Errata? Have you asked this already?
So, is there a formal Church of Errata?
I am the formal church of Errata. I hold her sacred emblem,
And what would that be?
the scarlet totem that I wear around my neck.
And how do you go about joining the church?
I told you, everyone is part of the Church of Errata. They just don't know it.
Right. So. I really don't know. What am I supposed to do now? Anything? Oh? Can I talk to him?
I have some more questions.
Ask them, if you must.
He met a troll. What happens if I use this perfume? Can I show this troll perfume?
What do you make of this perfume?
I prefer to involve myself in more spiritual matters.
Fine. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm starting to be a little desperate at the moment. Wait a minute. I'm past what I'm looking for. Ah, templates and cards.
I'd have to be insane to mention that to Mooncalf.
Okay. Where am I? What am I supposed to do? Is there anything I'm missing? Totems? Small pool.
What was I going to do? Go for a swim?
Okay. Lewton, Malaclips. What am I supposed to do now? Can I go here and see something? Well, he's over there. I don't know. What am I missing?
Either I was going over to the... That's all there was. The cemetery was at the back of the...
My brains are a little bit sleepy. So,
I need your help.
They'll all...
anything new? So, True Believers meeting.
I overheard Mooncalf. I'd really like to know.
It's tough to find out.
Is there any way I could listen in?
The sermons don't take place here.
The inner sanctum.
It's the center of worship here in the temple.
How come? I mean, there are a vast number of gods and goddesses that the temple has to provide for. Are you telling...
Absolutely. High priests are always
Okay.
It causes a...
Can you get me in there? I'd like to have a look around.
I could arrange to have the sanctum for a while if I told them I had a follower, but I don't.
Do I need to use money? Or coin? This. Let's see.
I suppressed the urge to ask for money. I was broke. Do you know what this is?
It's
What's a Hersh?
nothing.
The hash...
The original.
Yes, we
And-
talked about this. Is this something I can't continue until I have something else done? What about the murder of the patrician?
Some ale. Mr. Lewton.
Let's see. He knew something about the wines, if I remember correctly. Clerk's murder.
Have those people from the palace been here to collect the wine yet?
Not yet.
They're collecting the wine. So that has to be an important thing. The people are collecting wine, but they're not here. How do I use that? Are these the-
Most of the wine barrels in the Café Ankh's cellar had been brought into Ankh-Morpork on the Milka. I didn't really need a wine barrel.
Can I? Wait a minute. The killer got in a wine barrel. Can I use crowbar? Come on. Hallelujah.
I had a long wait, but it paid off.
Whoa! Finally some progress. Because I have a feeling that I cannot get into the inner sanctum until I have info about all of the murders. I know the mage was poisoned. I know the merchant was strangled, but I don't know how the clerk died. And I'm guessing I need to have all those pieces before I can get to the inner sanctum. Because basically he says, yeah, I could let you in if you would be my follower, but I don't know how to get to be his follower. I don't even have... Anyways, I'll make a quick save. I totally forgot that. I think... Well, I didn't forget, but I was thinking about the... that he was telling that the people are coming to get the wine barrels. I thought they would actually come there and I can talk to them. But that was a hint that I can use that as a way to get in the palace. Anything in here?
The storeroom was filled with boxes of food and supplies. I guess even the patrician had to eat every now and then.
Well, that may be true. Let's see. Oh yes, we have faint red mist.
The scent of red wine wasn't as strong as in the cellar, but it was still noticeable.
And
my killer had definitely been here.
Okay, I don't think I need to mark that specifically. Right. We have few doors. Lewton. Any... I can't see any traces of thingies, so we have one door and two doors. Let's see if I can...
I guess they didn't have an open door policy.
No, I can't go down, so it's either one of these doors.
I guess they didn't have... Locked. The door was locked. I thought I could make out voices, but I couldn't hear what they were saying.
I think... Oh. Ooh. But before we go, can I use my wolf sense to listen in?
There were people talking behind the door.
Oh, it's a terrible state. I don't know how he puts up with it. Oh, I know, dear, I know. Just because the prisoners don't mean they shouldn't keep their rooms clean. It's shocking. Absolutely shocking. And those ones that are chained up, they're the worst. They think because they get special treatment, they don't have to tidy up. Nobody thinks of us cleaners, do they, dear? Perish the thought.
All in all, it wasn't the most useful conversation I could have overheard.
Well, yeah, okay. What about this door?
Silence. Perhaps I should try a different door.
Yeah, we already tried, so nothing new. But I can go over there. So do we have door? There's a double doors over here. Any...
I guess they didn't have an... The door was locked. I thought I could make out voices, but I couldn't hear what they were saying.
So it's either this or that. What interests me? Oh!
The only noticeable scent in the hallway was someone's trail which led to the double doors.
Well, that's obviously not Gasboat. That would be funny. And not Mundy or Rodan. Where's the... Oh. Troll Carlotta, where is... Captain Vimes?
What was Commander Vimes doing in the palace?
Well, Isn't that obvious? I don't know.
The only...
Yeah. No, put the scent away.
I could hear what I could only assume was some of the patricians' clerks talking.
I do wish people would bear in mind how much paperwork everything is for us.
I know just what you mean. Have you seen file LEW-006/EXW? First, he steals a crowbar.
And that's a T-1712 form straight away?
Exactly.
No respect for the patricians, spies and clerks. That's the trouble with this city.
Oh, the crowbar's only the start, believe me. I've got 2 counts of murder.
Ha! That's an FO86B just to get the list of forms you need.
Tell me about it. And as if that wasn't enough, he's only gone and died.
Ah, not another D2317E. I hate those.
Worse. A D66/004B.
Another murder? Oh, I haven't finished the paperwork from Cypher's death yet.
Still, I have to look on the bright side.
What's that then?
At least he hasn't come back from the grave.
Oof, I know what you mean. Those undead citizenship forms are the worst.
No consideration. That's the trouble. No consideration of us hard-working bureaucrats.
The clerks soon returned to their paperwork.
I wonder who were they talking about. Anyways, let's listen to the double
As
doors.
a wolf, my hearing was dramatically improved. I could recognize one of the voices as Commander Vimes, and the other voice had the calculating tones of Lord Vetinari, the patrician of Ankh-Morpork.
Are you any closer to a solution for our mutual problem?
No, sir. I've been occupied.
Indeed. And what could occupy you?
There was a string of copycat killings. I've been trying to solve them.
And have you?
No. My lead suspect was killed.
That is very unfortunate.
It certainly was for Lewton.
So there has been no progress in determining who killed Cypher.
Not as such.
I had been given to understand that this was precisely the situation you were well equipped to handle.
I will solve this case, sir. You can count on me.
Do you recall what I said the city reminds me of?
You said it reminds you of a clock, sir.
Indeed. Big wheels and little wheels, all turning at different speeds to keep the machine working. That, after all, is the most important thing. The machine keeps going.
You've told me this before.
Do you know why it keeps working?
Because you want it to keep working?
I'm flattered that you think I have such importance. But no, it keeps running because the people believe it will keep running. Faith is a powerful force.
There is a point to this, sir?
I always have a point. Sometimes it's sharper than others.
I'm sorry. Continue.
One of my clerks has been found face down in a vat of wine, and that makes it appear as if the administration has lost control.
And the administration is me, right?
We are all the administration. You do the work, and I take both the credit and the blame. Provided I do not take the blame, I am content. I trust I make myself clear.
Perfectly.
Suddenly, I could smell blood. It filled up my senses like a night in a forest. Except a night in a forest didn't make me want to tear someone's throat out. I didn't know whether the guard had cut himself or if I was just developing a healthy bloodlust, like any young werewolf. But I couldn't control myself. The next thing I knew, I was in my office. I had no idea how I got there, how I got my coat out of the palace, or where I'd got a traffic cone from. It had been that sort of night. I was sitting at my desk, thinking over the case, when there was a knock at the door.
I understand you've been a busy boy, Lewton.
It's a busy life when you're a private investigator. Plus, you get to see interesting foreign places and learn a trade.
There was a commotion at the palace last night. Perhaps you know about it?
What goes on at the palace has nothing to do with me.
Indeed it is not. And if for some reason you did take an interest in the palace, I'm sure you would not be so foolish as to be caught breaking into the palace.
Of course not. Think I'm suicidal?
Strange you should say that. I heard you'd been killed.
I expect you hear a lot of things that aren't true. I bet someone has to explain them to you using very small words.
The thing is, the intruder at the palace appears to have been a werewolf.
There's a lot of that around this time of year, I understand. Must be the moon.
I paid my respects to your grave.
Oh, that was nice of you.
It was empty.
Oh, you know how it is. I get claustrophobic in narrow spaces.
So do werewolves, perhaps?
I wouldn't know about that.
Remember when I said how disappointed I was that I couldn't take you out for free?
Oh, that was a very touching sentiment.
Well, Lord Vetinari has generously offered to pay for the inhumation of last night's intruder.
He has a big heart.
It's a shame no one can find it.
Was there a point to your visit?
I was just passing through. Thought you might benefit from my advice.
How generous of you.
Well, I'll be on my way.
The door's behind you. I can explain how to use it if you want.
Watch your steps, Lewton. I will be.
Oh, interesting. And if machine breaks down, we break down. But anyways.
There was a faint haze of purple in the room.
Hopefully noises from...
Around the door was a strong, dark cyan odor with an earthy overtone.
Dark cyan? Could it be the...
The scent by the door was the same as the one in Sapphire's dressing room. It was definitely Sapphire's.
Ah, all right. It must be. So what sense I'm missing? Because somebody is cutting grass outside, so hopefully that doesn't come in. Sound in the recording. Yeah, my brains are a little bit mush, but I still want to continue. We have troll perfume, malachite, Carlotta, maroon. Did we have maroon in here? We have maroon traces.
I hadn't worked.
Can I use it?
Well, of course it was the same scent.
Okay. Right. So, what can we do now? Let's see. If anything happened in the temple while we were away, can you help me?
I need your help again, Malaclips.
They'll all need my help sooner or later. They just don't know it yet.
So, we know now, Matham was poisoned, Gamin was strangled, and Cypher was drowned in vat of wine. So we know everybody's death and how, or how they died.
I overheard Mooncalf talking about a meeting of the true believers. I'd really...
It's tough to find out what the cult of Anu is up to.
Okay. Is there any way I could live
The sermons don't take place.
Yes.
the inner sanctum?
It's the center of worship here.
How come? I mean, there are a vast...
Absolutely. High priests. It causes a...
Can you get me in there? I'd like to have a look around.
I could arrange to have the sanctum for a while if I told them I had a follower, but I don't.
Bloody hell. What am I missing? Should I go and check the library about the true believer? I really don't know. Have I... Okay, I need to go to the library probably. Okay. I go to the Cafe Ankh, see if anything happened there. And then probably the library. What am I missing?
Some ale, Mr. Lewton.
Do you know anything about Troop Leaver meeting?
Until I knew what this meeting was, I had to be careful.
Okay. I'm definitely missing something, but what it is, I do not know.
Who would say?
Is Carlotta here?
I'd like to see Carlotta. Is she home?
I will go and announce your presence, and she will tell me if she is.
Oh. Could she help me?
You're up late.
I can never sleep after I've been stabbed to death.
What did you want to talk about?
Okay,
Until I was sure, and frankly, I wondered if I'd...
So...
Until I was sure I could trust her, there were some things I didn't want to and frankly...
Okay, so no.
Does dead men's pointy boots mean anything to you?
I'm sure you can think of something better to ask.
Okay.
Can you tell me anything about Matham's murder?
No.
No. Right. Wait a minute. Okay,
What do you know about Gaiman's murder?
Sorry, Lewton. I'm not...
Can you tell me anything about Matham's...
No.
Do you know anything about Cypher's murder?
No, I don't.
Do you know it?
No,
no,
I
no,
don't.
no. What am I missing now? Mundy's...
The person who killed Mundy hung him upside down and poked his eyes out. Can you think...
What? No. Why should...
Well, you knew Mundy. I did. I thought...
Okay, let's go. Did Carlotta kill Mundy?
Did you kill Mundy?
What? What do you think I am, Lewton?
It's got nothing to do with what I think of you, Carlotta. But the Watch are investigating, and if they find out about your connection with Mundy, you're bound to be a suspect.
So why are you asking me if I did it?
Let's just call it professional curiosity.
If I had done it, would you turn me in?
That depends.
On what?
On why you did it.
You don't strike me as a moralist, Lewton.
I'm a simple man, Carlotta. I have simple ideas of what's right and what's wrong. The trouble is, things are seldom that simple. It's always somewhere in the middle ground. I try not to jump to conclusions. In my line of work, that can get you killed.
That must be a tremendous incentive to think everything through.
I do my best. You still haven't answered my question.
I didn't kill him, Lewton, if that's what you really want to know.
Do you have an alibi? I told her when the murder took place and asked her if she had an alibi. I wasn't surprised when she did. Frankly, I reckon I could have said any day and any time, and she'd have had an alibi. She was that kind of woman.
There are witnesses who can corroborate where I was.
And where were you?
I was in the Temple of Small Gods.
Spend a lot of time on your knees, do you, sister?
We all need a little absolution.
For your sins?
Everything I do is a sin in someone's eyes.
I really don't know. I know about her alibi. What about Reagan's murder?
Reagan's dead.
I'm not surprised.
You don't seem to care.
Everybody died. Mundy, Reagan, even...
What?
No point.
Where were you when Reagan was killed?
When was he killed?
Shortly after dropping you off at the Temple of Small Gods.
Well, there's your answer then.
See, this is the problem. We are missing something. Oh. Dead man pointy boots. I'm missing something. Some little thing that makes it so that I cannot continue. And the annoying part is, I really don't know what it is. I probably have to check it soon.
Until I was sure I confirmed.
Okay.
What do you make of this perfume?
I'm sure you can think of something.
The problem is I can't even see them.
I'll be in touch.
I go to the library.
I'd very.
Can I use... What do I want to use? The list.
I didn't really know how.
Okay, not that then. See, Kisei. KC.
I didn't really.
Okay. Can we use the True Believer? Open it. Okay.
I didn't really know.
No, stop.
The books were all neatly indexed, but it was complicated.
Okay, I'll take a pause. At that time, I'm gonna go check what do I need to do. I'm totally missing something silly. Because I would like to see the meeting before I end this episode, so I'll be right back. Okay, back. Hopefully I know what to do, but before that, I'll explain what I'm gonna do, but... sorry. Something got stuck in my throat. First things first. This is not important what I'm gonna do now. I'm just... where are they? I'll use these to index cards. I'm not certain if
There was nothing about Al-Khali himself, but there was a copy of Frescoes and Fatal Traps of the Temples of Al-Khali, which was less than enlightening. I wondered if I was ever going to find out the origin of his name. But then I read the line, "The city of Al-Khali is also known for its wind, blowing from the vastness of the deserts and continents nearer the rim, a gentle yet persistent breeze. It carries aromatic messages from the heart of the continent, compounded of the chill of the deserts, the stink of lions, the compost of jungles, and the flatulence of wildebeest." Well, it was a working theory at least.
Flatulence? Okay. And then Carlotta. Apparently, my biggest mistake, or my only mistake apparently at the moment, is I have not asked one question from Carlotta. One.
I was looking for a book that would tell me something about Carlotta when I stumbled upon The Complete Bloody History of Uberwald. In it was the story of Duchess Charlotte von Uberwald, who was betrothed to Vlach the Impala, most feared of the undead antelope. She betrayed him and married into the von Uberwalds instead, causing a minor peasant uprising. The whole history of Uberwald seemed to be a series of peasant uprisings.
Vlach Impala or Vlad the Impaler. Okay. But now, please
Who would say?
Get me Carlotta.
I'd like to see Carlotta. Is she home?
I will go and announce your presence, and she will tell me if she is.
I hope she is, because we really need this.
You can't keep yourself away from me, can you, Lewton?
I just wanted to ask some more questions.
Because we need one tip. The tip is errata. I have gone through everything else. Basically, everything should be okay. But the one thing I haven't asked from Carlotta is this.
I told Carlotta when Malachite was murdered, and asked her where she was at the time.
I was at a service then. Why do you ask?
A service?
I happen to enjoy services.
I bet I would too. Why don't you invite me to one?
I wouldn't be allowed to bring an unbeliever.
How do you know I'm an unbeliever?
I doubt you believe in anything.
A man can change. Don't you have a recruitment policy?
I'd rather not talk about religion. It's such a controversial subject.
And because I wasn't asking Malachite's murder, I never got the Carlotta's alibi.
I can't help but notice that your recurring alibi for the murders is that you were at the Temple of Small Gods.
Everyone needs a little solace now and then.
You seem to need it a lot.
I'm not easily satisfied.
Which god is it that you worship?
I really don't like to discuss religion.
Come on. I only want to know the name.
All right. Her name is Errata, but I don't appreciate you prying into my spiritual affairs like this.
Can I pry into your physical affairs?
My affairs are never just physical.
I bet you say that to all the boys.
Finally.
I'll be in touch.
I'll be waiting.
Finally we can move forward. Okay. That was the missing piece.
I need your help.
Where's there? Wait.
Carlotta says she's a follower of Errata. Is that right?
Blah! I am the only true follower of Errata in the whole of Ankh-Morpork. Unless you have seen the light, Lewton.
Seen the light?
Do you believe in the ways of Errata?
How could I not? Surely, Errata is the most worthy of all gods to follow.
Either you've just had a miraculous conversion or you're learning to lie. Good. A useful skill in followers of Errata.
So can I get to the inner sanctum?
So if I agree to be your follower, you can get us into the inner sanctum.
Yes, I can. But you wouldn't really be my follower. The followers of Errata don't follow each other. We don't even follow Errata. We follow our own ways.
So why is there a Church of Errata at all?
You're learning, Lewton. Keep thinking like that and you'll go far in the church.
So can you get me into the inner sanctum?
I can, provided we can find a time when the cult of Anu aren't there.
Are Mooncalf's lot in there often?
All the time. And that's not all either. He sneaks away after each one. I think they've got a secret sanctuary somewhere.
I'd like to find that.
Actually, I'd quite like you to find it too.
Can't resist a secret, eh?
No, I'd just like to get in the way of everything Mooncalf does. Him and his big evangelical budget and hordes of out-of-tune followers singing and chanting at all hours of the day. He's gonna get his comeuppance, and anything I can do to speed it up suits me fine.
So you'll help me?
Wait here. I'll go and make the arrangements.
It took a while, but eventually Malaclips got me into the inner sanctum. Malaclips stayed by the door to warn me if anyone was coming.
Honestly, this episode is a little longer, so I have no idea how long this inner sanctum stuff takes. So I think this is the best part to end. I'm sorry we couldn't see the inner sanctum on this episode. We will see it on the next. Yeah, it's only miss one thing and you can't move forward. Story of my life. But yes, on next episode we will go to the inner sanctum and see what is happening there. And see what the Mooncalf is up to. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time. Until then, goodbye.